All right, so we're diving into the 2025 Cotton Bowl today, huh? Ohio State, Texas, CFP semifinal. What a game.
Yeah, talk about high stakes, right? Ohio State wants that championship, their first in a decade, and Texas, well, they always want to prove something on the big stage.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to unpack today. The big plays, those standout performances, the whole story of how this game went down and why it matters.
It was interesting, even though it was just a semifinal, the energy, the hype, it felt like the championship for a lot of folks.
I think you're right. I mean, two huge programs, so much history, and everyone was glued to their seats, that's for sure.
Definitely. And in the end, well, Ohio State came out on top.
28-14, a decisive win for the Buckeyes. So now they're heading to the national championship to face Notre Dame.
First time in 10 seasons for them.
Right.
They really earned this shot. Some incredible moments in this game that got them there.
Okay, so let's break down those big moments, those plays that everyone's talking about. Where do we even begin?
Well, got to start with Jack Sawyer, right? That fumble recovery he took all the way for a touchdown, 83 yards.
83 yards. Unbelievable.
Set a new college football playoff record, too. I mean, not just a game winner, but a highlight reel play. People will be talking about that one for a long time.
Seriously, the speed, the athleticism, it totally flipped the script. It felt like, I don't know, almost like a turning point. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely a turning point. And it really says something about Ohio State's defense, their strategy. Not just reacting to Texas. They were dictating the game, forcing those turnovers, and keeping Quinn Ewers on his toes all night.
Yeah, their defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, had a great plan, and the players executed it perfectly.
No doubt.
And then there's Quinshon Judkins. Can't forget about him. 2 touchdowns, including that go-ahead score in the fourth quarter. The guy's a beast.
It's crazy, right? Only a sophomore and playing like a seasoned veteran.
I know. What impresses me about Judkins is it's not just the flashy plays. He's consistent, reliable.
Yeah, gets those tough yards, breaks tackles, wears the defense down over time.
Totally. His performance, it wasn't just about the touchdowns. It set the tone for Ohio State's offense, especially at the end there when it mattered most.
And let's not forget Will Howard, the quarterback. Solid performance overall.
Yeah, 24 for 33, 289 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But for me, it was that 18-yard run on 4th and 2. Just gutsy, set up Judkins' second touchdown, and showed he can handle the pressure.
For sure. He didn't have to be flashy, didn't take unnecessary risks. He just managed the game, made smart decisions. That 4th down conversion, that was huge.
Huge. Now, we got to give Texas some credit. They fought hard, tied the game a couple times before Ohio State pulled away.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers threw for 283 yards and 2 touchdowns. They weren't backing down. Texas has got a lot of offensive firepower. Got to give them that. And their defense had some moments, too.
Oh, definitely. You can't overlook their effort, even in a loss. Texas is a program on the rise. We might see them back in the playoffs next year.
I wouldn't be surprised. But for now, got to talk about the energy around Ohio State's victory.
Yeah.
I mean, their fans are going wild.
Social media is exploding, a sea of scarlet and gray. Everyone's reliving those key plays, celebrating, already looking ahead to the championship.
Even LeBron James and Pat McAfee chimed in, the excitement spreading everywhere.
It really feels like a moment of redemption for this program. They're back on top, and it's going to be exciting to see how they handle Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. We'll dive into that matchup later. But for now, Ohio State fans have a lot to celebrate, that's for sure.
All right, so championship game, here we come. Ohio State's back after a decade, but now they got to face Notre Dame. Big challenge, right?
Huge challenge. I mean, you've got 2 completely different styles clashing here. Ohio State, that offense, all about speed, explosiveness, putting up points. And then there's Notre Dame, built on defense, a more methodical approach, kind of like, a classic boxing match.
Okay, I like that. The knockout puncher versus the technical fighter. So how do you see these styles actually playing out on the field?
Well, for Ohio State, it's all about setting the tempo early. Get those playmakers like Judkins and Smith-Njigba going. Dictate the pace. If they can find their rhythm and keep Notre Dame's defense on their heels, they'll be in good shape.
Easier said than done, though, right? Notre Dame's defense is known for being tough to crack. What makes them so good?
Discipline. They're physical, they swarm to the ball, and their coordinator, Al Golden, he's a master strategist. He's got those guys playing with a ton of confidence. They're going to try to disrupt Ohio State's flow, force turnovers, make Will Howard uncomfortable.
So basically, a battle in the trenches is going to be key. If Ohio State's line can hold up, protect Howard, open up lanes for Judkins, they can score points. But if Notre Dame gets through and disrupts things, it could be a long day for the Buckeyes.
Exactly. Real chess match there. And we can't forget about Notre Dame's offense either. They're not flashy, but they're efficient.
Right, I was going to say, they got to score points, too.
Right. Strong running game with Audric Estime, balanced passing attack with Tyler Buckner, a quarterback. They're going to try to control the clock, keep Ohio State's offense off the field, and take advantage of any mistakes.
So not exactly going to make it easy for Ohio State's defense either. This is shaping up to be a real back-and-forth battle. And then, of course, you got the coaching matchup. Ryan Day for Ohio State, Marcus Freeman for Notre Dame. Two young, innovative coaches, both with a lot to prove.
It's one of the most interesting parts of this whole thing. Day, he's an offensive guru, creative plays, develops quarterbacks. And Freeman, he's all about defense, built his reputation turning programs around. It's going to be a battle of wits between two of the brightest minds in the game right now.
Wow, so we got clashing styles, two great defenses, brilliant coaches, plus all that historical context. This is getting intense. What are some of the things you're really going to be watching for that could decide this game?
Turnovers. Both teams can create them, and in a game like this, every possession matters. Special teams, too. Field position will be huge. And then there's the experience factor. Ohio State hasn't been here in 10 years, Notre Dame more recently. Could that play a role?
That's a good point. Yeah, Notre Dame has been in these big games before. They know what to expect, the pressure, the media. But then again, Ohio State is hungry to end that championship drought. Could be a huge motivator.
Definitely. This is what makes this matchup so fascinating, right? These are two iconic programs, each with a different path, different strengths. It's a testament to all their hard work to even get here.
And we can't forget the fans, right? The energy around this game is insane. Whether you're rooting for the Buckeyes or the Fighting Irish, this is a game you're going to remember.
No doubt about it. Atmosphere is going to be electric. But, even beyond the spectacle, it's the human element that really gets to me. All these young athletes, each with their own story, putting everything they have into this game.
Years of hard work, sacrifice, all leading to this moment. It's their shot at the ultimate dream, their chance to make history.
Exactly. And as we look ahead to this game, I want you to think about this. These are two teams that could both be considered underdogs in their own way. Ohio State trying to bounce back from that Michigan loss.
Yeah.
Notre Dame kind of flying under the radar all season.
Both with something to prove, that's for sure. Adds another layer to the drama.
Absolutely. And as you watch, consider what each team's journey says about their identity, their resilience. That's what makes this so compelling.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, the styles, key players, coaches, everything. But what about the history? I mean, both these programs, they got a lot of it. How does that factor into this whole championship thing?
Oh, you can't talk about a game like this without the history. Ohio State, those scarlet and gray uniforms, those fans, the legendary players they've had, they're looking to add another trophy to the case.
Yeah, and then there's Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish, the Golden Helmets, Touchdown GS, their own crazy past with amazing players and coaches. I mean, they have fans everywhere. It's not just a regional thing.
This game, it's not just about this season. It's about those legacies, adding another chapter.
Yeah.
Upholding those traditions, honoring the past, inspiring the next generation.
It's like they're playing for something bigger than themselves, almost like they're carrying, the weight of history on their shoulders.
And what's interesting to me is how that history, those traditions, they actually show up on the field.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, Ohio State, they play aggressive, attacking, always trying to make a statement.
Right. That makes sense.
And Notre Dame, they're disciplined, fundamentally sound, tough, resilient. It's like their whole approach is built on that.
So you're saying their playing styles actually reflect the personalities of their programs?
Absolutely. And that's what makes this matchup so cool, right? It's not just about who's got the better players. It's cultures clashing, philosophies, two totally different ways to play the game.
Wow, this has been an amazing deep dive. We've talked about, everything, the plays, the coaches, history, everything. So as we wrap this up, what's the one thing our listeners should keep in mind as they watch this game?
Watch for the will, the fight. This is going to be a battle. It's not just who's got the better players. It's who wants it more, who digs deeper, who fights harder, who can overcome the tough moments.
It's about heart, about that grit, that thing that separates the champs from everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. So as you watch, pay attention to those little things, how they react when things get tough, how they celebrate, how they support each other.
It's those moments, those emotions where you see the real team, that drive to win.
This game, it's everything they've worked for all season. This is their chance to make history, leave a legacy that'll last. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
Well said. And that wraps up our deep dive into the 2025 Cotton Bowl and the National Championship game. Thanks for joining us.
Enjoy the game.